said, I would now like to welcome and introduce our keynote speaker for this morning, Apostolos Tzitzikostas, Commissioner for Sustainable Transport and Tourism. He is, as I understand, a political scientist by training and an experienced Greek politician. In his current role, he has the responsibility to advance sustainable mobility, tourism, and transport policy. His portfolio covers EU transport decarbonization strategies, sustainable tourism initiatives, and infrastructure policies, where he leads on initiatives such as European Sustainable and Smart Mobility Strategy and upcoming measures to strengthen the EU's transport and tourism resilience. Not an easy task, but I welcome you so much, Commissioner, to the floor, and thank you for coming and being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Really inspiring speech on today and on the future of aeronautics. And first of all, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to thank ASD for this invitation to this, I would say, very important and timely gathering. It is certainly a pleasure to be here. I've met many of you throughout this year to discuss issues of the industry, because Europe's aeronautics, security and defense industries are indeed a great source of pride for our Union. Strategic industrial assets lie at the heart of Europe's technological and economic strength. The companies, the workers, the engineers, and the innovators in this room, and those you represent, of course, do not simply form a sector. You form the backbone of Europe's sovereignty, security, and future competitiveness. The public is familiar with commercial aviation, but we know that Europe's helicopter sector, defense and security industries, space activities, unmanned systems, drone technologies, air traffic management innovations, and civil military aviation capabilities are equally essential pillars of our industrial base. As geopolitics increasingly blur the lines between civil and defense markets, it becomes even more important to fully leverage the dual-use nature of aerospace technologies, just as your President said earlier. And in today's world of increasing instability and shifting global power balances, maintaining a strong, versatile aerospace and defense industrial base in Europe is not a luxury. It is an absolute necessity. Your sector directly employs more than 400,000 highly skilled workers and generates around 130 billion euros in turnover, including more than 100 billion euros in exports. And as these figures make it clear, your entire ecosystem is central to the EU economy and to Europe's global competitiveness. We have your industry to thank for stronger supply chains, high-value R&Ds, and greater European strategic autonomy. For me, it is clear, my friends. The EU is a global leader in advanced aeronautics and aerospace technologies. But just as importantly, we are leading the transition towards greater sustainability and digitalization in aviation, transforming the way Europe flies, connects, and defends itself. Through the Clean Aviation Joint Undertaking, a landmark public-private partnership, we are jointly investing in the future of Europe's aerospace leadership. Just this year, nearly 945 million has been awarded to major projects that will shape the next generation of climate-neutral and highly efficient aircraft. As the European Defence Fund and other EU instruments continue to expand, the convergence between civil aeronautics, defense, space and security becomes increasingly evident. Together, these strands strengthen industrial competitiveness and promote something very important: interoperability, enabling the development of dual-use capabilities all across Europe. Today, increased defense spending all across Europe shows that we are very serious about sustaining and modernizing our industrial capacity, and without any further delay. The demand for resilient supply chains, advanced technologies, and sovereign capabilities has never been higher. Securing supplies of essential components, critical raw materials, semiconductors, and advanced materials is now, for us, a strategic priority. Supply chain resilience is no longer optional for us. It is a basic requirement for civil, but also for defense readiness. The Sustainable Transport Investment Plan that I presented 2 weeks ago provides a clear plan to accelerate the transition to renewable and low-carbon fuels for aviation and for maritime transport. And we must aim for an ultra-efficient next-generation aircraft, capable of flying on 100% sustainable aviation fuels, while continuing to invest in electrification, hybrid systems, and hydrogen propulsion. Sustainability and security, my dear friends, go hand in hand. A resilient, sustainable, and technologically advanced aerospace and defense sector is vital not only for our climate goals, but also for European sovereignty. And of course, drones, unmanned systems, and autonomous technologies are becoming central to modern aerospace, security, and defense strategies. They strengthen surveillance, logistics, environmental protection, emergency response, and tactical operations as well. The drone sector is also one of the fastest growing parts of the aviation industry today. By 2035, we could see millions of routine drone operations in Europe, from medical deliveries to infrastructure inspections, from supporting farmers to assisting emergency services. But achieving this, make no mistake, will require substantial investment, regulation that keeps pace with innovation, and above all, industrial capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, the future belongs to those who control the standards, the manufacturing, and the data architectures that make unmanned systems safe, reliable, and interoperable. Artificial intelligence will increasingly shape the next generation of manned and unmanned aircraft systems. There's no doubt about this. From design and manufacturing to avionics, maintenance, and safe monitoring. And this brings major opportunities for European industry, but also a new requirement, ensuring the certifiability of AI-based functions. If Europe, ladies and gentlemen, can combine technological excellence with a robust safety culture, AI can become a powerful accelerator of our industrial competitiveness. Scaling these technologies requires a legal and regulatory framework that is as forward-leaning as our industry. A predictable, harmonized, and innovation-ready set of EU rules is essential for manufacturers to plan, to invest, and to grow, ensuring that regulation enables industrial scale-up is as important as financing itself. But also something else. We must recognize that emerging aerospace segments, from drones and vertical takeoff and landing aircraft to next-generation propulsion, are becoming arenas of intense global competition. We're not the only one in the world. Ensuring that European innovation, however, reaches industrial scale quickly is essential if we are to secure our place in the global market. With strong support from EU programs and coordinated national policies all across Europe, we can become a global leader in both advanced drone and counter-drone systems, turning a technological challenge into a competitive advantage. This is fully understood at the European level. And I'm here today to convey this message to you. Concrete actions will follow. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it very well, times are changing, and changing fast. The world is changing. Europe must reinforce today its strategic autonomy and industrial sovereignty in a rapidly shifting global landscape. We have no time to lose, and we have to address bottlenecks in this process. Complex regulation, bureaucracy, decisions that come many times later than they should, but also the fact that we need to work together faster are issues that this Commission has decided to deal with. Competitiveness, resilience, security, and technological sovereignty stand at the core of this Commission's agenda. The European Competitiveness Fund will play a critical role in supporting these objectives across the aerospace, security, and defense ecosystems. Through targeted funding and strong support for dual-use innovation, Europe can remain and will remain globally competitive, resilient, and sovereign. And with our global competitors benefiting from strong state support and vast home markets, and you know very well what I mean, we must now in Europe intensify our efforts to ensure a global level playing field for the European industry. There is no other way forward. So before concluding, let me address the recent safety issue affecting part of the Airbus A320 fleet, which was, if you think about it, a good example of how coordination can bring results promptly, swiftly, and very, very, very efficiently. Incidents like this remind us that aviation safety, of course, demands constant vigilance, and that Europe delivers exactly that. Airbus, and I want to congratulate you, responded with full transparency, responsibility, and speed. Their cooperation with our authorities was immediate, was open, and solution-driven. And this is what a mature safety culture looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Acknowledging an issue, sharing information, and acting decisively if the interest of passengers and crews. And of course, EASA's role has been equally essential during these last 3 days. And I want to congratulate Europe's Independent Aviation Safety Authority. It acted also quickly, firmly, professionally. In 48 hours, more than 90% of the aircraft were already upgraded, which was not the case globally. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call European safety governance at its best. A strong regulator, a responsible manufacturer, and a system built on trust, expertise, and transparency. It is a model we will continue to support, resource, and defend, because when Europeans take the skies, nothing is more important than safety for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to respond to one of the issues your great president mentioned earlier. The need for a European aeronautics and aviation strategy. And let me assure you that I'm considering it very seriously. And I believe that indeed it is the time now for the European Union to review its position towards its aeronautics and aviation industries and the airlines. And in this sense, I want you, Mr. President, to know that I am here today not only as an official opening of a good event, but I'm here to convey a very specific message. I want us to work together in the coming years. We have a lot of things to do together. And I never believed in decision-making coming top-down. I believe that if we want to have successful policies on the ground, we need to design and implement them with our industry, with the people involved in the real economy. So in this sense, and vis-à-vis the possibility of having a new European strategy for aerospace, for aeronautics, and for airlines and aviation, I want us to exchange, and I certainly want you to know that you have a seat on the table for this discussion that will shape the future of your industry for the years to come. Thank you very much for your invitation.
So, since the Commissioner expressed the need for a European industrial strategy for civil aeronautics, by coincidence, I have one with me today. So it's actually my pleasure on behalf of ASD to have the opportunity today, and thank you for coming, Commissioner, to hand this over, and thank you for saying that we have a seat at the table. This is so important to Europe going forward, and I think the Commissioner expressed that diligently during his speech. Thank you for coming, and let's work together on this going forward. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's have a photo here. Good. Thank you very much, President.
Thank you.
A pleasure. Thank you very much.